Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Harry Styles, the king of soda pop.
Ask Yo Aunteas, dog booty.
And HRs for Black folks too. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntea Kerel.
It's Auntea Dawon.
And it's Auntie Jerrell.
Hey, with a little class and ass. Okay, now.
I know. This is our kickball team is called class, but we highlight it just to say ass.
I like the ass.
Yeah,
well, you ain't got to highlight yours. Yours already highlighted.
Okay. I mean, it's out there. It's out there.
Hey,
Every now and then, I still walk past the mirror. I'm like, ooh.
Catch it. Catch yourself.
All right, look.
That thing back there thangin'.
Look, come on, alien superstar.
Oh, honey. Right? Thick. Ass getting thicker. Bigger. How your ladies doing today, though? All is well?
I'm hanging in there. Honestly, the allergies are kicking my ass right now.
Oh, really?
Been migraines up the wall. It's been a little bit of a mess. But you know what? It's almost September, which is crazy. I don't even know how we are here. Like, girl. I mean, it literally was just like we were just talking about Pride like 2 weeks ago.
Girl, we just got out of February. What are you talking about?
Okay, look, I wouldn't say that far. I wouldn't say that far back. I mean, it just feels like summer just started, and now I'm already thinking about.
Pumpkin
who
spice.
got the deals? I'm thinking about the deals. Like who gonna have, where I could go to get some new pants because I done busted all them pants out. I have to go get some new.
She going to back to school shopping.
Girl, look, for real though. For real, I need to. Cause I ain't got no pants to wear this fall. I done wore the crouch out and all of them. Them thighs have been dying. So
the thighs been dying.
Just
Lord, help them thighs.
I wish I had a little bit of that.
Let me tell you, it's
I said just a little.
He said maybe not enough to wear out the pants. But
he said I'm easing into it a little.
That wardrobe bill is too damn high.
Girl,
to be running out of. But I would love to turn these little silver dollars into
them little DeBoers into some little Debbies. I know.
Right? Into some cupcakes. I might not get full cakes.
She wants just some little tasty cakes. I know.
I mean, I play it. I mean, I got a little something back there, but not a lot.
Yeah,
I got enough to say I'm black. Let's put it
right. Right, that's at 33%.
Not even. Why are you gonna throw my 23andMe back up in my face? That's funny.
And for the new community members, I forget that was this year sometime.
Yeah,
I
forget the February. That was February.
That was probably like February.
Because I got my results back then.
That was a funny episode. Oh man, but yeah, community. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome. Subscribe and all that good stuff.
Hey, I have something. I was just thinking about now that my brain is decompressing from my day.
Yeah.
Because like you asked how we're doing, and like I'm like stressed. Like when you're getting ready to go on vacation and you're trying to get everything wrapped up so that you can just not think about things. I'm in that mode. But I had a really great call today. And I'm sure a lot of like our people can relate, Black people can relate to this. I'm going to try not to give out too much information, but there was an employee that was hired recently, and her shortly after she got hired, her boss went out on medical leave, and then like maybe 2 weeks later, she got a new vice president. So her boss's boss. And when they started, it kicked off really well. But something happened where her boss's boss, this VP, basically like iced her out of everything, like took her off of like Slack channels. Like this is a, this person has like a direct report, and so she was still trying to like learn the ropes or whatever, but she had iced her out of like Slack channels, like deleted her from like team meetings, and like wouldn't like connect with her, like because everybody works virtually, so it's not that you can just pop on in and be like, hey,
right. It's like, hey, boo, what you doing?
you got to you got to send a calendar invite, and they have to accept. So but long story short, she was really stressed about it because there was like this perception that she wasn't going to be successful in her role. And the boss had said something that was really disturbing, like, oh, if this had been 15 years ago, I would have just put you on a pip just to get rid of you, or something like that. Just really, really foul. Now, this woman is is a Black woman. And the only reason I say that is because I was presenting on a call, and it supports our employee resource groups and all that stuff. So I was sharing some information, blah blah, and I said at the end, hey, listen, if you have any questions about developing your career or navigating your career here at the company, or just questions in general, I'm for the people, so you can ask me anything. I'll like tell you the real tea, like, and help you out. So she hit me up and told me the situation that was going on. And to make a longer story short, through a series of events, she was really hesitant to reach out to anybody in HR, because historically our people, right, don't have a lot of positive experiences with people in positions of authority, whether it's their leader, whether it's HR, whether it's the police, whether it's president of the United States or whatever. So as I was talking with her, I was encouraging her, hey, you should engage the HR team. I can certainly advocate for you, and and give me some advice. She was really hesitant. Coached her through this. We've been going through this for like 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, and you can only imagine what it's like when you feel like your job is on the line. Your manager, or manager above you doesn't like you, doesn't appreciate what you bring into the table, has done all these actions, and then if you say something, it's kind of the he said she said kind of a situation. It's a hearsay kind of thing, so you don't have a lot of confidence. And she put some time on my calendar today to tell me that like her situation is like, I don't want to say a complete 180, but it's made a significantly positive turn. That her engagement with our HR partners internally has yielded some really great results. She sees a positive future for herself. She was eyeing the door. And I wouldn't blame her for the situation. But one of the things I said to her was, I said, one, we all know this, there is no testimony without a test. And I said, number two, because she was so like thankful for like the coaching, the guidance, and And I said, listen, that's all fine and dandy. And I appreciate that. But the reality of it is as a Black man for another Black person in this company, I feel a moral and social responsibility to look out for my own. And I'm in a position of power to be able to make things happen on your behalf. And I'm going to do that. And I said, at the end of the day, I'm proud of you, because your average person would not have leaned into their courage. They wouldn't have leaned into their vulnerability. They wouldn't have leaned into their humility. They would have said, you know what, this situation ain't working out for me, and I'm going to bounce. And she didn't, and she's making a positive way through. And when you talk to somebody and you can tell like there's a huge weight that's just lifted off their shoulders, that was her today. And it just goes to show like the things that we do, I don't think we sometimes even grasp the impact that it can have on people's lives, which is one of the reasons why I'm so thankful that we have even just this podcast. And when we hear from our community all the time, like, oh, I could totally relate to that situation, or, y'all just make me laugh on days when I feel like crying. Like,
Yeah.
those are the kind of things that I live for. And yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Oh no, I love that, and we need to share more like that, especially like in the positions, especially like HR, like your role, because a lot of times there's almost like this veil, like that part of like companies is hard to like peek behind. You're like, hold on, is there somebody on my team over there? Like, hold on, and that's why it's so important to have people that look like us in those positions, because there's a sense of empathy and sympathy that you're able to provide that just comes a little more naturally, because we've all unfortunately been in situations like that due to the way we look.
We all.
So, yeah,
we all.
We.
Not you all out there listening. We all.
Yeah. And let me think of, long story short, for me, I've been in a situation like that in my career, and it was the most miserable. I still have almost PTSD from it, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was 3.5 years under that manager, and the shit that particular manager put me through, and the things that she was telling people about me that I've never heard before and have not heard since is so insane. And I didn't have many people in positions of power to help me. I had to like scratch and claw and leave that particular department to fend for my career, honestly, at that point. So I wish I had a Dawon. I wish I had someone in that position of my color to at least just give me the benefit of the doubt, and I had no one. And I think I'm going to always carry that in my career, because now that I'm able to, like, I'm at a decent position in my career as well. Same thing. Anyone I can help, I am helping, because it sucks to feel hopeless and helpless in your career, in your job, that you're there all day, every day. Like, that's
and alone.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And sometimes speaking up too, because like in my particular situation, when it happened to me a few years ago, I was doing a temp job, and that temp job came right on time, because I had just ended my last relationship. We were engaged. I had to move back home with my mom. I'm like, what is going on? And I was like, you know what? I need this job. And then it came to like, they wanted to hire me on, and I was like, I don't know. And they were like, what? Why? We love you. And I was like, real talk, homegirl over there, she ain't it.
Yeah.
Like, she ain't it. Like, and they were like, excuse me. It was the VP that was asking me, what do you mean? And so I had a meeting with the VP, and I was like, well, she says X, Y, and Z. She talks like this. She does this. She says stuff like this. She's belittling. She does all these things. And they were like, she was like, oh, well, let me look into this. Come to find out that there were other people there that had gone to HR, or that had also said things about her as well. And they let her go. They were like, oh, she got to go. And they're like, so do you want the job still? We remove this barrier. You gonna say no anymore?
Right.
Where I
say less, right. It's so true. Like, so I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's something that, like, as we continue, we're always talking about, like, hey, tap into us about professional stuff, because we've seen and heard and been through some shit, and that's some shit that needs to be shared out there, because there's probably someone listening right now saying, I'm going through that shit right now. Hang in there and try to tap into networks.
Reach out to us. I mean, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. It's interesting. This, in my opinion, is one of those classic examples of professional privilege, because I had to have a sit down with our HR business partners that was handling this case. And I had to say, listen, y'all, we need to have a real honest conversation. Because they're like, oh, well, the employee doesn't want to like escalate this. We don't really think this is a discrimination issue, which would warrant a different course of action. Right. And it wasn't really a discrimination issue. it was two issues. There was a performance issue, a perception of performance issue of the manager and the employee, or the VP and the employee, and there was a lack of trust, a loss of trust and integrity issue on behalf of the manager, and like their focus was on this performance thing. So they want to have conversation about resetting expectations, whatever. And I said, no, that's not what this is about. Y'all need to understand. And I got real like transparent with them. And I said, listen, as a Black person, we don't have an experience with HR professionals that is in our favor. So the reason why this person, and I can't speak for them, but I can speak for the 400 years of experience that have taught every single Black person not to trust certain individuals, or not to trust certain positions, even though they're intended to help. Most Black people don't see HR unless they're getting fired or something's wrong. So I need you to understand that just because someone is saying that they're not willing to escalate this, that doesn't mean that you turn your empathy notch down. That means you actually need to turn it up, because what aren't they saying?
Yes, that's a word. That is a whole word. Thank you, because we just even the folks that sometimes get to these positions are fighting and scratching for their lives, and are scared to speak up. And Dawon ain't one. Dawon gonna say what she said, but like. And so it just sucks in a lot of these professional settings. We all have to like play this game for the folks that don't look like us, you know? And
And a lot of us don't have, and a lot of us don't have the benefit of having people in our families, you know, that are in similar professions. So, you know, we may have, we may have parents and aunts and uncles that are in different professions or whatever, but this is a whole new world of navigating careers. You know, when our parents were going through, you know, getting their careers or whatever, they were getting a job for longevity. You know, they wanted security for the future. And, you know, times are changing. Times have changed. And so, you know, I've always felt an obligation as I've navigated my career. And it's not to say that I have all the answers or all my, you know, experience or whatever is absolutely correct. But I'm very intentional about leveraging, you know, my position, my power, my voice, and my presence in whatever organization that I'm in, you know, to advocate on behalf of Black and brown people and LGBTQIA plus people and anybody else that has been marginalized, because, you know, there aren't enough people out there that are championing for us. And we all have our different ministries. I get that. Like, I'm not going to be, when Black Lives Matter, I was not on the front lines. But when it comes to that office place, God damn it, I'm gonna be on the front lines.
I know that's right.
You told me Miss So and So said what? Oh,
said
no,
what
not
to say
today.
Who?
Not today. We gonna handle this
right.
today.
I love it. I love everything about that. So wow. And I mean, honestly, that's why even like today, like. So we recorded on a Wednesday. Biden finally kind of did some stuff he said he was going to do. It's $10,000, but $10,000 that somebody still ain't got to pay. So let's be all the way real about that. But that's why it's so important for a lot of folks, again, that look like us, that some of this money is gone, because they carry that much debt.
1 second. I don't know if it was just me, but I forgot. I didn't realize that you said Biden, and I was like, who's giving out $10,000? What is going on? Okay,
it's my money, and I want it now.
I haven't seen one of them commercials in a while.
That's funny. Yeah, this is big news.
It's very big news, and yes, I know some people wanted more. Some people wanted like all your debt. I get it, and I agree. Like, but 10,000, and then there's even 20,000 for those who had like Pell Grants. That's at least a good step to help some of those folks that are just up to their nose in debt because of school, because we teach people to go to school, you got to get your education, and then you come out and you're $200,000 in debt. There you go, and then screws over the rest of your life. You're paying the rest of your life because the interest rates are insanity. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great news. let's see here. It says nearly 45% of borrowers. Sheesh, I need to go back to school to learn how to speak.
Money takers.
Right, there we go. Or almost 20 million people would have their debt fully canceled. So that's a huge chunk of people to just give folks a chance to succeed, especially those that look like us. So kudos to the White House. I guess this is a small win. We still got some other shit to get done, but we'll clap for this one. And for those that are salty that they had to pay off their debt and everything, I get it. Such is life. That doesn't mean they shouldn't do this because you had to pay. Like,
yeah, I hate that notion. Like, this is something that should have already happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so send that anger to the correct people, not the people who are benefit from it. Don't get mad at them.
Yeah.
Be mad at our government that they have put things in place for so many people to have to need to rely on the government to be out of debt.
Be mad at them schools that be paying all that money for all these football programs and college football and college basketball programs and making all the tuition go up every year. Be mad at them.
Be mad at Exxon, damn it.
Them too.
Look, there are a slew of companies and organizations and people you could be mad at.
Sally Mae and all of them.
Don't be mad at the people that are just trying to make it, scratching and surviving.
Right. Hanging in the child line. Good time, so. I'm just saying. But yeah, no. So that I think that's great news. It sucks for those that maybe borrowed from private lenders.
Yeah,
like it doesn't really help there. But hopefully, this is a start of something, conversation to show that this could get done. Honestly, that's what it shows. That like we got to speak up and speak out with what we want. And something moves a little bit. It might take longer than we want it to, but something got to get done when you speak up and speak out.
Hopefully we can get to a place where, we can at least provide like free college education at either whether it's community college or even at the state college level for like certain kinds of roles or certain kinds of career tracks that are certainly high demand, like I'm sorry, but like we could certainly use more doctors out there. We don't need any more lawyers. I'm sorry. we don't need no more lawyers. We've got plenty of them. but even like
the trades now, like we don't have enough people in trade, so that's a nice little pretty coin now.
Absolutely.
Like, you use your skills.
And even like
trades.
with teachers, I mean, like we have a shortage of teachers right now in this country. There are so many people who are like, I'm done teaching.
I mean,
and that's the whole other thing that we need to fix in this country as well too.
I really wish
What pisses me off coming from a family of teachers. Like a lot of my family members that are still teachers live back in Gary, Indiana, and so they are like in it, at these these schools that. Oof, they be making it work.
Thick of it.
they be making it work, and I'd be like, "Damn!" But it's not enough. It's not enough at all.
Yeah. I agree. What we said, the one you want to what?
I wish that there were certain roles and certain like careers where they didn't have to pay taxes. Like if they're gonna have a low salary, like for example, if you work in the service industry and we've got this jacked up way of paying you, which is $2 and some odd cents, and you're living off tips, you should not have to pay taxes at all. Anybody that's in like a first responder, or that's a teacher, especially lower education, from K through 12, no taxes.
I agree.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's
if you can't raise the salary, cut the taxes. Give them a 100% tax break, for up to a certain amount of percentage of their income, because people also be doing extra things too.
1,000%, right?
Drive,
on the side,
drive Uber, and trying to take advantage of them tax credits. But like, I just
selling that body out on OnlyFans, do what you gotta do.
I want to know, what do they do? What do they do with the tax? What do they do with the money that they get from like Mega Millions? Like that Mega Millions that happened, and it was like, what was it, $800 million or whatever?
A lot of it goes to like local, it probably varies by county and state and all that.
But that was
I feel
Powerball.
Like
Powerball is national.
Powerball's not. One of them like is like local,
Right.
like
The lotto.
and a lot of that kind of goes to like funding for schools and things like
Right.
that. But yeah, that's actually a good question.
Because like when the Powerball was up to what $875,000, the person, and I say only, but they only took
Right.
away they took 400 or some. No, it was less than that.
Like it's
They
literally like
they
half of your money.
They said that it was only like 30% of whatever the total Powerball was. So if it was $800 or $800,000, it would have been $200 million.
And
But
it
that's
depends on what state you live in, because some states you don't get taxed on it.
Mhm.
Other states you do. So like if you win like the Powerball in like say I think like California and like Florida, they don't put the state tax on top of it. Other states do, and so you pay like the federal. And I just looked up like so the federal top rate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like if you win in certain states, you making a hell of a lot more.
Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do if I win? I'm gonna move before I cash that shit in. You better let me sign a lease.
I know that
online.
Yeah,
because the top federal rate is 37%. And then some states would be like 20%, 24% on top of that.
Like, let me get it.
And it also depends on how you also collect your money. Do you want to collect it monthly? Do you want it all in one lump sum?
I want it all in one.
That also depends. And that's actually better. It's actually better to get it all in one sum.
Yeah, guaranteed tomorrow. Oh,
And
give me my money now. I
and
want my
that's what
money, and I want it now.
They wrote
That might be the name of this damn episode.
For real. But they wrote an article on how so many people were choosing the option, and then like a couple of people actually passed away, and guess what? They got all that money back. They didn't go on to the family or anything.
That's why you gotta. That's why you gotta have a living will.
So y'all ain't gonna know. Y'all ain't gonna know Kerel won. Y'all will find out like 10 years
states
later.
don't allow you. Certain states also don't allow you.
I gotta show you. Some of you gotta say your name,
or you gotta say your name. Or you show your face or whatever. Because I forget, someone came in with a duck costume. They had like a whole duck thing on. Like,
period.
I'm here. You didn't say
it's gonna be the masked motherfucking singer. It's like, who is that? I recognize that voice. No, you don't. That Auntie Kerel. No, it ain't.
Scary movie. Look, okay.
If ever I win, y'all will know because I'm gonna miss an episode of Minoritea Report. Just one. So that literally I could move to a whole other country.
Honey, we're gonna see a different background.
Like, what's that back there?
It's like, didn't you have a brick wall with that painting?
Is that the ocean? Bitch, are you on the water?
Is that Beyonce? You in Croatia?
Oh, that was just Michelle Williams walking.
Right.
Okay, right.
So, hey, girl.
Oh, so you like truffle oil now, huh?
Right.
Okay.
That part. Girl, truffle
That's
oil.
That's when she'll be eating truffle oil.
Look.
That's funny. That is funny. But yeah, no, I like that idea. Or at least have some kind of like staggered tax break, something. Like you work a certain amount, like if you hit 5 years, you get a certain percent back or something. I don't know. I think that's a brilliant idea. It boosts up that profession that is, like Jerrell said, is needed.
Yeah.
And since we're not willing to pay them more, that's a way to keep more dollars in their pocket.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's get that on somebody's ticket.
Honey, right?
Okay.
Come on, who out there running now? Texas governor and Stacey Abrams. Come on, Stacey.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that Biden's going to run again?
No.
I don't think he is.
He
I
can't
think
stay
he's
healthy
tired.
enough.
He's like, I just did this to save y'all some
Let me
grief.
tell you. He's like, I'm in this office to try to make sure Trump cannot be reelected and then get me the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Biden working with the folks, he'd be like, raid that motherfucking house, please.
Look.
Hurry that shit up.
Even Biden gonna be like, Biden.
Do y'all think that oh shoot, I just forgot his name. The old Jewish one.
Bernie.
Him. Do you think that he'll run?
Not Tales of the Crypt. No.
He getting up there too.
I know, but
Everybody
do you
getting
think that
up
he'll
there.
run?
There's something in me that's telling me he probably will.
I honestly think
He do
that
got that
will.
fighting spirit.
And
He do got
honestly-
that fighting spirit.
And honestly, if he did, I'd vote for him. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I ain't gonna vote for no Republicans, so shit.
Well, I mean, you know.
Well, at this point, no Democrats have proved, no other Democrats have proven that they're gonna get shit done.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Bernie bro, but I'm ready for a little bit of that energy.
Yes,
right
because
now. In all honesty,
We need to make it through 2022. We need to stack the tables, the Congress for 2024. That's what we need to do. So all these primaries this year.
First things first.
Look,
Let's get to Friday.
Because this 50-50 split ain't doing shit.
No.
Like,
no, it
like-
really ain't.
Well, this is the lame duck situation that Obama was in for his second term, which is why he wasn't able to get anything accomplished
So
in
we
his
need to
second
get
term.
at least 60
Yeah.
motherfuckers in there, 60 Democrats in there, because this ain't it.
But Jerrell, I think you're absolutely right. There is a fever pitch of people in the Democratic Party, specifically people that are younger, that are just like, this working across the aisle bullshit ain't it. And we've been trying to do this shit for the last 40 years, and it ain't got us nowhere. All we do is just clean up the fucking debt shit that all the Republicans do when they do whatever the fuck they want. So we need to do what the fuck we want. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, y'all be shitting on Nancy Pelosi all you want. And yes, she might not be the best human being on earth, who is. Nancy be ruthless.
Right. Look, you can tell by that clap.
Honey, period. So say what you want about Nancy. Nancy dirty as hell. Don't care. She said, I'm too old to be caring, and I'm still wearing this 5-inch pump. Say something, ho.
Absolutely.
Oh man, it's about to get back into that season though.
Yeah.
Oh, we
ready.
did all right the last year and a half.
We needed that break.
We took a good
I needed
little
that break.
Well, maybe not a year and a half because it was pretty much this year.
I mean, even before then, I mean, like you couldn't escape politics to begin with because of how horrible old boy was. I mean, like every other day, he was in the news for something. Even when it wasn't election time, it was.
And he's
something.
still in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Melania said, "Let me get my pocketbook and go." She said, "I'm about done."
Meanwhile,
Mina said it was Melania says, "Hey Joe,
You want to give it a go?
I'm done. That will be a clip.
There we go. Because I'm saying, they said, let's rate all this shit.
She's like, he buried his ex-wife in a golf course.
Golf
Like,
course.
No.
They need to bring her up. I guarantee you there's like papers. They buried the nuclear papers with Ivanka.
Let me tell you, she probably ain't the only person on that golf course.
It sure ain't.
Well,
please don't add me to the golf course. If y'all listen to this, don't add my ass back there.
We might have to cut this. They gonna get me. Oh Lord!
You come after me, you better be ready to fight,
honey. I done made it too far to be dealing with.
Because look, I don't fight clean. I fight dirty. I'll be gouging eyeballs, pulling ball sacks.
Honey, period. It's like, I ain't boxing.
And don't be a woman. I'll pull your clitoris out.
Oh, shut. I can't.
Like, honk.
You can get it too. Coming here with that bullshit. No, ma'am.
Y'all see Ginuwine the other day? Ginuwine.
He stay in the news.
He stay in the news. Look at the same old G means same old grandpa now.
Oh my God.
I appreciate it. Because let me tell you, that's the whole level of loving yourself that I just hope to get to at some point.
You right.
You know? I still be looking at myself like, ooh, bitch, you don't need this. Or, ooh, bitch, do one more sit up. Or, ooh, bitch, do one more squat. Like, but he be on the stage being like, fuck it, bitch.
I didn't realize Ginuwine didn't have no ass, though. He turned around, them pants was like
It's in the front.
sagging.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it is in the front. He said pony, not a peach. You're right. He still look good though. Ginuwine still look good.
He looked good in the face.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that was super shady.
Shady as hell. He look good in the face. But that body.
I just keep crying because he keeps wearing these like Sean John wannabe polos on stage. Like if you, like
he from that era. He from that era.
No, but let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Like how you gonna be on stage and you wearing a polo shirt?
Let me tell you, he like that uncle who show up to the barbecue or Thanksgiving in the same type of like 90s like 2-piece like jumpsuit.
Thinking he's sharp.
Okay, okay, Stacey Adams.
That's what he look like. He look like Stacey Adams for real.
Like, but you look at somebody like a Keith Sweat when he was on that Versus, looking slick.
Keith Sweat singing himself.
Well, you know, I didn't say his voice.
He had some bops though. That's a weird thing. Keith Sweat had some bops.
Yeah. He did.
He did. Like everybody knew he wasn't the best singer, but the panties still came off. Like seriously, like he was smooth as hell.
Now. I'm gonna love you, baby. Now let me do it to you.
Right. Now, honey. He has a vibe.
Yes, he did.
Because we was all singing that jam. But we were singing all the Keith Sweat jams.
Yeah. You know, I do miss, and I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but I do miss like 90s R&B. Yeah. Like the black crooners, like the guys that sang love songs.
Like some Jerrell Levert. Like
I mean, just
okay. So let's get into
Johnny
it. Like,
Gill.
So how do y'all feel about conversations about R&B? People saying R&B is dead. Like
we had an episode, maybe 2, it might even be 3 years in this house called "Gentrification of R&B." Because it's not dead.
We were talking about Justin Bieber. We were talking about Justin
and
Bieber
Ariana.
Yeah.
It's not dead. The skin tone just got a little light.
Yeah.
they call it pop now. But Ariana singing R&B, Bieber singing R&B, Adele singing the shit out of R&B.
Yeah.
The skin tone just got light. And they just ain't checking for black people. It's just another genre that got stolen. And nobody checking for the originators no more for some reason.
Yeah.
However, Jasmine out here still doing R&B very well.
True.
Ari's still doing R&B very well. Little Summer Walker having several seats, still doing R&B very well.
Yeah.
The masses aren't embracing them as much as they used to, like the Brandys and the Monica. Like Brandy and Monica's used to be the R&B stars, and they were the pop stars. And I don't know when that shift happened out the blue.
When white people, started drinking the, real Kool-Aid with sugar in it, and they started being able to sing some of our type of music.
Maybe it was Timberlake. Maybe it was that era. Because he got massive, and we're like, oh, go ahead, you're singing that R&B. And we didn't know, like, he and then everybody else that was white were going to take it over.
I will say he's probably my first memory as well, as far as white people kind of stepping into that lane.
What about Tina Marie?
I mean, look at Michael McDonald even then.
Right, exactly.
Michael was a singing ass motherfucker. Right. And Michael Bolton, too. But I almost felt like Justin might have been maybe one of the first ones that was he was like pop royalty and shifted over to the R&B and kind of took the urban lane and was still like this pop royalty. It shifted over there, and then you got the Biebers after that, and the rest is history, I guess.
I kind of feel like it went from, and y'all can check me because, I'm not super, super into music like that, but I feel like it used to be, you'd have all the crooners in the early, the 80s. And then when we got into the late 80s and the 90s, we started seeing the resurgence of R&B bands like Boys to Men, Take Six,
Jodeci,
the whole bit, right? And then you see the advent of, leave it up to white people to try to gentrify some shit. NSYNC was their response to Boys to Men and blah 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 blah. And then it became, and then we saw less of black like boy bands, not boy bands, but like, you know, like groups
Male groups.
that's saying R&B, because more of them were finding that they were able to be more successful by being a solo artist and then doing crossover work to get a larger audience, because that's what the A&R folks were, you know, pushing whatever. So I feel like, I mean, it all boils down to, I'm sorry, white people, but, you know, I'm not sorry, because y'all the ones that do it. So y'all have to blame yourselves. But like, just coming in here trying to take shit, you know? So I feel like that's what it was. And like in the midst of all that happening, yeah, there were like sprinkles of, you know, like people that were doing some R&B, but like when I'm like, I miss the crooners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into like a lot of slow songs. I'm not, you know, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But like somebody that can just sing the shit out of some music and make you want to, you know, take your sweaty panties off and throw it on stage.
Ooh.
You don't have, who out there is doing that today?
Nobody.
I mean, I know y'all. Yeah, I know y'all probably don't listen to his music, but Lucky Day
does. Yeah,
is out here singing his ass off.
1000%.
And that boy, and I went to his concert, and let me tell you, I was ready to throw my undies on that.
I know that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Lucky Day's fire.
The boy can sing, but I would agree, Dawon.
Luke James. Luke James.
But he's not really out there in this. He's not out there like that.
But when I saw him in concert, girl,
he opened at that Mrs. Carter tour.
Yeah. But you know, I think what it boils down to, I hate this. It's almost like they expect our people to sing and sound like the way a lot of Black folks out here are singing. But when they see a white person sounding like us, that's when they're like, oh my God. It's less about the voice and way more about where the voice is coming from. You know, which bothers me. It really does bother me, because there's some people out here who, like, for instance, like even this year, Jasmine Sullivan finally is starting to get the flowers, and she's been out here for a minute.
And
a whole hour.
Okay,
she's been out for a long time.
She's been there a whole 60.
And she's just now getting those flowers. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I hate this idea that, you know, they make way for those who don't look the way they sound, but aren't paying tribute to the people who are out here vocally slaying it more than those people that don't look the way they sound.
I one of my favorite podcasts, and I want them on here. Quest Love Supreme. Hey Quest. And I like it because they nerd out about music the way I nerd out. And the latest episode is L.A. Reid, and there's a 3-parter, so I was just living my fantasy. It was everything. But L.A. Reid was just saying, because L.A. Reid, for those who don't know, he used to be in The Deal in the 80s. Then he had LaFace with like Babyface, so he had like the TLCs, the Outcasts, the Pebbles, so many people over time, and Usher and Bieber and things like that. And he was saying a couple things. He's like, first, to me, what I think about R&B is Black folks started thinking it was corny, and hip hop was cool. And he said, and then over time, he's like, you know how we are about Black people. Once we start thinking things are a little corny, we move on to the next thing that we think is fire. And so he said, the second we did that, he's like, here I am as executive. And he's like, I made my career off of R&B. He's like, my writing partner was Babyface, the king, like, of writing all the R&B shit that we sing. Yeah. And he's like, so I'm working at Def Jam, and Usher brings me, and he's like, we still had the Mariah and like Emancipation album and Usher Confessions album and all that stuff, but Usher brings me a Justin Bieber, and he said I knew exactly what to do with him. He's like, I started Bieber on urban radio because he's like, I know Black people still love a good R&B moment, a good little white person singing a little bop. And he said, we still prop up these white artists because we like the genre and we like the music. And especially if they talented, we're going to be like, okay, little white boy. And like, he's saying all this stuff. And he's like, that's how I launched Bieber. He's like, it's still us dictating, but we think certain things are corny when other people do it. But then we see like a little blue-eyed soul motherfucker singing and we're like, oh, that's fire. Okay, little 14-year-old dude, you sing your ass off. Yay. And he said, and he's like, in a way, we kind of did it to ourselves. But he's like, ultimately, he's like, R&B ain't dead because we still got the Adeles and everybody out here singing Black music.
And we do have a little bit of unicorn complex when it comes to
1,000.
like white people who can do what we do, like, because it's not just anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't just anybody. You better be able to do it.
Right. You better do it right.
You better do it right.
We don't have Showtime at the Apollo for nothing, because I don't care who you are. You come out there screeching and scratching,
it's a wrap.
It's over.
And so it was just interesting for like an executive, an L.A. Reid. It doesn't get too much bigger as music exec to kind of break it down that way. And I was like, I agree. Like, we thought it was kind of corny for a moment, and hip hop was the hot thing. And honestly, hip hop was kind of doing R&B, fusing it in itself anyway. Yeah. So
especially now too. Especially now.
Drake is an R&B artist.
Look, remember, I mean, like, I remember like MC Hammer when he came out with, you know, he had been just pop. But then he came out Pumps and a Bump.
Oh, Pumps with that his thing. That's when I knew I was gay too. I remember that video.
Ooh, girl, I didn't rewound that video many a times.
Honey, let's
but
run
I'm like,
free.
But like, I think he absolutely does have. I mean, obviously he has a point because he's an industry insider, whatever. But I do, you know, I can see it because living through that age and being old enough to see, you know, as a teenager, old enough to see what's going on. Everything was going towards like hardcore rap, and this was coming out of LA and New York. It was hardcore. It was who can be the hardest, who could rap the hardest, who could say the most foul things, who could be, you know, it was all about that street life. So when you have somebody, you know, like a
singing,
you know,
my
put on your red dress,
right? You know, you're like, ooh,
put
that's
on
a little
those
corny
high
today.
heels. And you're like,
even though you still played it to get you some,
right?
So I hope there's a way for it to come back around. Just looking at the history of black music, it's probably not going to happen because they stole rock and roll, they stole like country, they stole a lot of stuff that like it just never came back around to us again. So who knows what the next genre that we create?
I mean, I definitely don't think they're gonna take R&B because, like y'all just said, like you just can't sing R&B. Like you gotta sing R&B, you know. So I truly believe that, you know, that's still gonna stay part of the culture, but as far as being a driving force in the culture, I don't think it will be. And I really do think it's still kind of shifted into that rap or whatever they want to call it these days, because some of these people that don't be rapping, and I'd be like, if I hear one more auto-tune voice, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I actually don't listen to rap as much as I used to, because of how rap is right now.
The new Game album, by the way, y'all, I know we don't talk about rap a lot. Is it fire?
It is so good.
Okay.
Fire.
I will check it out. I still rock with a lot of the rappers from like the early 2000s, you know, like, you know, early 2010s, 90s. Like if any of them are putting out shit, because I already know that I got shit from at least what they did before. That is still rap. But this new stuff, no.
Check out that game. It's long. It's a long ass album. He got like 30 songs on it. It's fire.
It'll take you a minute to get through it.
Literally.
But
I'm still kind of going through it.
Enjoyable ride. Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, so who knows? I mean, like, there's always someone that ends up coming out. I mean, Beyonce's album is R&B. She just knows how to package it in a way to make it still appealing to the masses. So there's still a handful of people that are big enough. Let Rihanna come out with her last album was R&B, but let her come out with like another R&B album. People are going to eat it up because it's Rihanna, you know.
But she can't really like sing like that.
Yeah, but
I know. I'm just.
But she finds a way. She finds a way.
Right. She makes it work, and
she make it do what it need to do.
We eat it up. We eat it up. Like, this is no shade. I'm just saying.
We say a bitch better have my money. Okay,
because I'm like, you needed me. That was R&B. She just did it in a way that was her Rihanna lane.
How long do you think that it would take? Because, you know, like styles and trends or whatever, they always find a way to come back.
Yeah.
How long do you think that it would take for, you know, like the real crooners, you know, the real singers, you know, that are singing love songs, like
depends what they
whole
look like.
albums? But I'm not saying what I'm saying. How long do you think it would take before we see that coming back?
If it's a
5
black
years, 10
person,
years.
it might be forever. If it's a white
Oh.
person, next year. Because I mean, the sad thing is they're just not going to market it the way they need to.
One more Sam Smith. One more.
Let it be another Sam Smith that comes. They're going to push it. That's the sad reality, at least right now, of what R&B is. The only good thing is, like, at least the conversation is being had by a lot of folks, so it might lift that window up a little bit for someone to sneak through.
We might. Never mind. What are you going to say?
I was just gonna say R&B. There's a lot of good R&B music out there right now.
1000%.
I just don't know when it's gonna come back to the time where it's gonna be front and center. I just don't see it being that. And when I just think about like just kind of how people minds are right now, people aren't looking for the slow stuff. They're not looking to be in the feelings. I mean, the world is already so fucking depressing as is. The last thing they want to do is be in their feelings, So I don't see it really being forefront of music anytime soon. Yeah. But there are some really good R&B singers out there. And another person who don't look like they should be singing the way they should be singing, JoJo. That little heifer.
JoJo be singing her face off.
Let me be singing her face off. I saw her live. I said, bitch.
Yeah, she be singing her face off.
Oh, you out here?
You sang it.
I'm just gonna put it out there. There are two genres that I would love to see make a comeback. I would love to see like Afro soul, like Afro soul, like like Erykah Badu, Maxwell,
Jilly from Philly,
Jill Scott. Like I would love to see like that genre come back, and I would love to see like the R&B crooners, specifically men that are singing about love songs. Like
you need another D'Angelo "How Does It Feel" moment.
Yes, like
that would be hard to play on radio now. They're not gonna play that slow ass song on radio right now.
But people ain't listening. Ain't nobody listening on damn radio.
Or like any playlist, like any Spotify play. They ain't gonna put that shit on there.
I really don't. That's not what people are trying.
Because I mean, like, look at Alicia Keys. Like Alicia Keys' album was fire, and if you Alicia Keys is still not like getting what she needs to be getting, the marketing that she needs to, ain't nobody else gonna get it right now.
But
and Tank, I haven't even listened to Tank's album, and he just
that's putting things in today's context. What I'm just saying is, if what I would love to see is sometime in the future, when it makes sense, when we're out of like the the scissor up and like the
not the scissor. we went back to 01.
I'm like,
that was our prime. What you talking about?
Girl,
to the window.
Right, they on G and K and everything nowadays.
Look, okay.
But no, but what I'm saying is, like, once we get out of this kind of like infatuation with party life, where it's so pervasive, because I feel like we're still in that moment because IG, social media, blah blah blah, it's all about the show, and there was a fever pitch that'll happen where things are like, people get tired of that and then move on to whatever's new. So I feel like whenever that shift starts to happen and it starts to morph into whatever the new thing is, I feel like that's an opportunity for music to also kind of like shift as well. And I would love to see those two genres come back.
But to your point though, Dawon, excuse me, adding on to your point, I think it's going to take until also a shift in social media to also make that too.
100%.
Because I mean, social media is dictating a lot. Like some people, music is charting again from like the 90s and 80s because of shit on like TikTok.
What's that girl?
Or that you see in movies.
Kate
What's
Bush
that girl?
like that?
Right, the one from the Stranger Things where
went up
like
a
her
hill
song,
or some mountain or something like that.
Yeah,
no mountain high enough. I don't know.
I can't even escape that damn song. Like,
see, this is what we need to. But see, this is what we need to do as a black culture. Since we dictate even TikTok trends, why are we not putting our own on? Push an R&B song, do a little dance, and make the white people copy it. That's how we push our own artists.
Yeah.
Do that little manipulation shit. That's how we do it and put our people on.
I mean, it's hard because
I blame Khalees.
We can put our people on, but I still think though that like the white people still are just gonna try to flip it,
they'll
and
steal it,
and
but at least we get some coins out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the
I mean,
million
like,
of times they're gonna replay that damn K Bush song, like play some Jerrell Levert or some Anita Baker or something, like make those the trends. Shit.
Oh
I mean, some of those songs I remember. That's how I found out.
Yeah, that's how you did find out.
So let me tell you, it happens.
And on that note, we're about to take a tea break. We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo
Aunteas
got
merch! Hey! That's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there, so go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find it at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to minorityareport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself. All right, ladies. What time is it?
Ask
your auntie.
That's our R&B song.
Right.
Who has it?
I got it. It says, "Hey aunties, I love dogs, but does anyone else think it's weird when you go for a hookup and get there and their dogs are in the bedroom with you both? Some get protective, some bark, or as I'm banging the owner, I stop and look the dog and it is staring into my soul like I can't believe you. I don't know. Just put the dog out or in another room. Maybe. What do you think?"
That just makes me think of Dawon's story.
Same. That's why I giggled. I was like, "Oh, we got to read this one."
Like,
we got an expert. We got an expert on the panel.
Community member.
Right.
Girl, that dog started humping my leg while I was doing my business, and I kicked that fucking dog so goddamn hard. Oh, I don't know. It fell off.
Because they make that high pitched squeal.
Wait, get the fuck off of me. That's nasty.
A friend of mine was telling me the other day, and I mean literally like less than a week ago. Hope they ain't watching. Hope they ain't listening. But they were hooking up with someone. The dog was in the room, and the dude walked away from the bedroom while he was, face down, ass up, and then he felt a lick, and he was like, "Oh, that felt good." And then the dude came back into the bedroom, and he was like, "Do that again." He was like, "Do what again?" And he was like, "Oh, that was the dog that did that."
I would have been like,
well, you don't gotta worry about me. That'll do it. That wouldn't do it.
That dog said, "I was waiting for you at the door."
Let me tell you, this dog has seen some things. I got some questions because
seen some things, don't lick some things.
No, that's how he knew. That's how the dog was like tag in.
That's learned, right? That's learned behavior.
First of all, I'm going to need to know the name of the kind of mattress that he's on, because if he did not feel that dog climb up on the bed, walk all over, and then lick his asshole, then get off, that's the kind of bed I need. Is that Sealy soda?
Oh, is this Posturepedic? Is this Casper? Is this Ooh.
I need that bed because, bitch, you getting good sleep on that one.
Girl.
It's like them old school commercials where they drop the bowling ball on the side.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got no story to top that one.
What was the question again?
Overall, the question was, does anyone else find it weird that when you go to... I do. I was dating a guy, and his dog, like he would put the dog out the room, but the dog would be crying and like scratching at the door and stuff like that. And it was just, I'm like, I can't get dick down when I hear this dog this out there whining and stuff like that. I'm like, you fucking up with the aura of the room, girl. Like shut the fuck up. So it just, I don't know. It can honestly ruin it. It really can. So y'all better train your damn dogs. Shut the fuck up.
But some of them be letting their dogs be like all alone with them and in their bed. Like, we don't let our dog in our bedroom. We don't let him in the bed and nothing like that. I don't want all that hair. And I've had times where I've slept with someone where the same thing where the dog is literally like right there. And then, but then you're in the bed too and it's like dog hair. And you're like, come on. And then like you do your deed. And then they're like, oh, come on, Fido. And you're like, okay, I'm just still laying here like naked.
I just got the towel.
And cuddling up next to you. So like you sweating and dog.
And them dogs, they be trying to lick everything. They be like sniffing like, and they want to like
salt. Right. Get the fuck off. It's like that ain't that salt. That's the other salt.
Shut the fuck up. I'm dead. That's the other song.
Not cross-pollinating.
So yeah, no. It's like there's a time and place for everything. And it ain't the time to have your dog all in our business like this. Because they sure do be looking at you and your soul.
Staring at you like.
And then Tucker, like, say like Corey and I, and TMI, be like on the couch or whatever. And, you know, you get a little handsy and stuff like that. And Tucker be getting so jealous and be trying to like, because he's so attached to Corey at the hip that he be getting jealous of me giving Corey affection. I'm like, you know what? It's time to go upstairs.
Not talking to being like, nah, nigga,
Right. No, nigga, move
out of here with that. Right here with that.
So yeah, no, animals can ruin a mood. So I don't know how people do it where they just be having their animals all in the bed and in the way and stuff like that. And getting your booty hole licked by a dog and stuff.
Pass.
Yeah, and the truth of the fact is, I don't even like other people's dogs like that to begin with. You know, I don't know how people could just easily be trusting with dogs. I don't know. Maybe just coming from the hood. Maybe just coming from the
61-year-old lady. You heard that?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's what I'm saying. Like coming from where I come from, dogs were protective. They were there to protect you. They weren't friendly. Okay, like people come over to my house as a kid. I'd be like, his name is Moses, but he is not holy. Okay, let me tell you. Okay,
is that your pet?
Look,
not the biblical name.
Literally, okay. I said, excuse me, he is not Airbud, bitch. Get the fuck from back there.
He is not Airbud.
Okay, that I had to break it down for my white friends that would come over.
Not like, homeward bound.
Let me name a dog that makes sense to them. Okay. Yeah.
So I think you. Like, okay, so I've been in a situation like that, and I guess I didn't think to say, can you put your dog away? Like, because you kind of, like, not thinking that in the moment. You're thinking it, but you're not thinking it. And fortunately and unfortunately, some of these people I didn't really know like that. So it is what it is. And so it's like, is it your place to be like, can you put your dog away? I guess you could say it, but, like, we've all been in those situations where it would probably be awkward to be like, that's the first thing out your mouth when you get in the crib.
I just lie and be like, I'm allergic. It needs to go. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one. I think this also is an indicator of you know, if your sexual partner, even if they're like a partner for the day, how considerate of a lover they will be by whether or not they're considerate their dog in the midst of you trying to get a hookup on. Because you know, like back in the day or whatever, if I hooked up with somebody and they had a dog, usually they would say, you know, hey, I have a dog, you know, do you mind if they're out or would you like me to put them away? And I said, put them away. Yeah. You know, but if they don't ask and no.
I've been there with like times where there's cats. Like he was a good lay too. I'll remember that one probably to the day I die. He was a good one. But every time I go there, he had these two cats. And sometimes they were just like, whatever, be by themselves or whatever. But sometimes if you hear meow, and they hop up on the bed, and you're like, this is fucking awkward now. Like, this is not setting the mood at all.
And doesn't that just take you out of the whole
Yes.
experience altogether? Like, for me, at that point, it's like, I might as well go because I'm not getting back into it.
Yeah. Literally, I'm not getting back into it.
I mean, I did. Especially
Said,
like
not
like,
this gas money.
honey,
Said, look.
right, it was the MapQuest dick days, ho. I done drove 33 miles.
You getting this dick.
You gonna get this dick, right?
And I was in my 20s. And so that 20s
Wait.
is something different.
But you also like.
Said I blinked and it was hard. Okay.
That 20 dick was different. Anyway, continue to send your Ask Yo Aunteas questions to AYA@MinorityReport.com or DM us. And we need some new ones. New ones. Come on, y'all. Please, come on. We know you got some questions. You hear us talk about every episode of Ask Yo Aunteas. So come on, send them in. Nothing's going to be too embarrassing. We done told all our secrets damn near. So come on. There ain't nothing too embarrassing, and it doesn't have to be relationships. It could be professional, like Dawon sharing today's situation. It could be whatever, honestly. So whatever you need advice or opinion or a little chuckle off of, send it our way.
And we'll keep your secret anonymous if you wanted to. We won't say who it is.
Nope.
You know, we will know, but we won't say anything. We won't.
And at this point, we don't even say anonymous. We just go right into it. So you don't gotta worry about the name shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't lost the list, but what else was out there?
Doppelgänger.
Oh yeah, there was something. So I forget if it was like the Times magazine or something that came out recently saying everyone in the world has like a doppelganger. Oh, New York Times, yes. And so they put it on Instagram and you're sliding through like the pictures and these people like look alike and they're not brother or sister. They're not twins or anything like that. And they're saying that your doppelganger is out there and you probably share DNA as well. And I was like, that's crazy. And then so we were talking about before the show today. And what'd you say? What was your question, Jerrell?
I was like, but would you fuck yourself though? I mean, you're not related. Would you be like, this is the opportunity
to fuck yourself?
I mean,
yeah, I'm probably gonna go. Probably gonna do it.
I mean, my doppelganger will have to be a top because it ain't gonna be me. So.
Y'all gonna be bumping bottoms.
Like, okay.
Bosom buddies. Right. Double-sided dildo. All that ass clapping.
Okay.
Wait, what if you're your twin didn't have ass though? Are you looking at the pictures?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I would be kind of skeptical. I would be really skeptical, like meeting someone that looks just like me.
Yeah.
That's also because, I didn't see way too many Lifetime movies when
not single white female.
We done seen us. We done seen us and everything.
Like,
us and you.
Right. And there's this show, Echoes, that just came out on Netflix about these twin sisters that swap lives once a year.
Oh.
Like, it's
Parent Trap and everything.
Wild. I'm talking about like switched husbands, everything for a whole fucking year.
And nobody knew. That's craziness.
Girl. The show was wild.
What complexion were they?
You know.
Okay.
You already know. We like,
already know.
Because we be like, I wish the bitch would. You better call ass over there. Nah. What you mean you didn't know that was me? Like, what you mean? What you mean? You say you don't know me? Oh, no. We done.
Yeah, that would be just weird. Like, and I don't know how the New York Times, like, found these people to put in this story, But, like, wouldn't it be, like, almost eerie if, like, just one day you were, like, on the train or something like that, and you're like, bitch, you look like me. Like, that'd be so weird. So weird. Yeah. I don't know.
I would have sex with myself.
He was still on that.
Well, I really had to think through this. Like, I would.
And that's assuming they were gay as well. So, I mean,
Right.
But I mean, even straight bros be like, okay, at least maybe we'll jerk it, see what it looks
Look,
like.
there was a show, The Time Traveler's Wife on HBO.
Right, exactly. You know, them straight bros be nasty as hell.
Well, this show on HBO Max called The Time Traveler's Wife. There's a point where like the dude goes back in time and he ends up blowing himself. Like, and it's a scene, bitch. It's a scene. It's a whole scene where he's literally in the bed and himself that comes back from the future is literally just like, well, let's see what it. And the dad walks in on.
I'm doing myself a favor.
Literally. I was like,
that is so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Like, who's writing this shit? Like, who are the writers of this show? But like, you know what? I'm gonna write this scene where he goes back in time and he blows himself.
And he's fine too. You see that man naked so much in that show too.
Wait, what's the name of the show?
The Time Traveler's Wife.
Time Traveler's Wife.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even heard of that.
It's a cute show. It's a really, really cute show.
When you say naked, are you talking about butt naked or are you taking
butt naked? Butt naked.
Okay.
Butt naked.
It's like I've seen enough asses.
I ain't trying to see that. I was mad. I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones and didn't see no dick.
Let me tell you, literally halfway through, I'm just like, please don't fuck this up, y'all. Please don't fuck this up.
Was it good?
No, there was no. Okay, the episode was good. I liked the episode. One of the best things about the episode that it wasn't as slow as the first Game of Thrones episode. It was not that hard to get through. Like 15 minutes in, you're like, oh shit, bitch, damn, that was gruesome. Okay,
is it an hour episode?
It's an hour and 14 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think also like with the other Game of Thrones, because they were with the Game of Thrones, there was so many different families and that they were popping in between.
Yeah.
That it's hard for people to really get into it in a short span. But this is like one family.
Yeah.
It's really centered around one family.
Okay.
So like you could follow along, and I like for an entry episode, it gave you a really good sense of everybody's motivations, where they're coming from, who they are, what their personality is. So like by the end of the episode, you already know who you're rooting for.
Do you need to have watched all of Game of Thrones to watch this series?
No, because it's a
not at all.
prequel. It's a prequel. So it's not even. It's before the other series.
So maybe I'll give it a go. We'll see.
Yeah, I would say go for it. Also, we see Black people in this one, so I just want to put that out there.
They learned their lesson from the last series.
Like, look, okay.
Wait, so then what happened to them in Game of Thrones? And if this is a prequel, did they kill all the Black people?
Well, let's.
We on episode 1, girl.
It's like I don't predict the damn show.
We will have to get there. Okay. But no, it was a really good first episode.
Are y'all watching rap shit?
I watched the first episode. It was a little bit of a slow start to me.
Okay.
I don't know. It didn't feel as authentic or just natural as Insecure. And I'm having a hard time trying to separate that feeling I got from Insecure and what I'm expecting from this project.
I can see that.
Because the vibes are different between the shows.
Yeah.
And so the expectation that I was wanting from Insecure is not happening in rap shit. And that's on me. That's not on the writing.
Right.
So I will say, like, really try to go in there with it as low as bar as possible.
Yeah.
Because there's some lines there I'm like, okay, that just felt a little cheesy. That one didn't feel as natural. But I heard it gets better. I heard it definitely gets better. So I'm definitely going to wait until the whole thing comes out because I want to binge it.
Got it.
I'm gonna have to binge it, and I think once I binge it, then I'll be able to get into it.
Okay. Are they still lighting Black people up well?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. even when they in the strip club shaking ass and they like, bitch.
Okay.
Yeah. And the also thing too, I would say about this too is I feel like the target audience or the people who they are looking to entertain are definitely people who are way more involved in social media and like TikTok and stuff like that. Because they go live all the damn time.
Oh,
It's like they're
really?
talking to their followers on Instagram live, like, hey y'all, so I'm in the car with my girl from high school and she used to be split. And you see like the bubbles of likes and stuff coming in, and you see people writing comments. So it's very much that feel versus like a story of just someone's life like you got from Insecure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pass on that. I ain't trying to watch somebody else's Instagram.
It's like I watch enough Instagram as it is.
Right. Get the hell out of here.
Speaking of things right now, how do y'all feel about this whole King of Pop and Harry Styles conversation?
Honey, the fuck y'all talking about?
Thank you.
And out of all people, Harry Styles?
First of all, his music ain't even pop. His music ain't even pop. It's that weird, like, it feels more like
almost like
indie. It feels way more indie than actual pop music. Like you're not dancing, you're not giving an 8 count to any of Harry Styles music. You offbeat on the 1s and 3s. On some
the king of popcorn,
looking like dancing like one of the peanut gangs,
right?
Just sitting here like, okay, this is all you doing to his music. That's the only way you dancing. At least with pop music, you giving an 8 count something. Right.
It just amazes me how like the UK like can't get over this whole colonizing thing. They want to colonize everything. Like why wouldn't if you wanted to give this brother some flowers or whatever, why you gotta co-op and try to colonize a word that's been used to somebody that has a 4 to 5 decade long illustrious career. And who can sing anybody under the table
and dance
and
entertain and produce and entertain and create
and
trends.
Change they know. I'm just playing.
He ain't been out long enough. He ain't been out long enough to even give close to even mentioning that. And the thing is, and I want to say this though, it's not the UK that was saying this. This is Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones.
It was Rolling Stones UK.
Oh, it was the UK version. Oh, girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Why is Rolling Stone in the UK anyway?
I don't know.
Some off-brand.
That's not what makes someone the king of pop. And granted, his new album is good. I like it. It reminds me of summer. If I'm on a road, like if I'm doing a road trip, like I want the windows down. I'll play his album. It's a vibe. It's a vibe, but it's not pop. It's
you
something
like if you have more albums to be king of anything.
Well, right. But I think what's saying is like right now he is the biggest selling artist of the year. Like no one has had more records being sold than him. Number
the year hits. Is the key word,
and that's the thing, and that's right, and that's where I be like y'all didn't focus on the fact that this just been happening this year.
Right, it's like we're still in August.
I saw him last year. I saw him last year in November, and the boy could perform. The boy and I don't know what it was, but like the way he performed, I was like, bitch, you can dig me down any day. You can just
he's got a little sex appeal.
He's just
there's a freedom to him that he exudes. That
there's just a swagger of comfortability and just freedom that he exudes that's very attractive.
But King of Pop, you reckless with them words. And the thing is, they knew what they was doing. They wrote it and they said, "Oh, you know what? This is gonna stir something." Here we are talking about it.
Yeah.
There is never gonna be another King of Pop, by the way. No. Like we done seen a lot of bigger stars than Harry Styles. It could have been like an Usher. It could have been a Justin Bieber, for goodness' sake,
or even a Justin Timberlake for that matter. Like
Harry ain't nowhere close.
No, not at all. No.
It's so reckless with your words.
Ain't
no new King of Pop. Ain't no new, no old, no middle.
Not go through puberty. That's a grown ass man already, girl.
He is like 28.
Yeah.
And look, 8.
You ain't wrong. You ain't
right.
wrong.
You ain't
wrong.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dawon said that, and I was like, literally was like, the fuck? Like, Houseway, where?
Make it make sense.
King of popsicles.
Yeah.
King of popcorn.
Rolling Stone UK needed to get their followers up.
So
this is exactly what they needed to do, because they knew they weren't getting people riled up about it.
So did. They knew what they was doing.
And let's be clear, this has nothing to do with what you think about Michael Jackson as a human being or whatever.
Right.
This has nothing to do with that. Like, you take all of that aside, you look at his artistry and his performance and his multiple decades. This ain't no damn conversation.
No. It really isn't.
Get the hell out of
You
here.
You said the Jacksons chimed in, and I said all 9,432 of them.
Look, that's why it's trending on Twitter.
Right, because of the Jacksons.
They're the only ones. Like,
Reby and all them.
Look, all them.
They're like, wait a minute. Look, I'm waiting for somebody to show their bank account so they can show them residuals. Like, you tell me.
This is King of Pop Ho.
Right.
I'm 15th generation Jackson, and I'm still getting checks.
I know that's right.
Ho.
Ho is turned into like my favorite word of recent. I don't know why. It's just
Really?
the emphasis of the word ho. I don't know why.
You can put a little middle. You can put a little Middle East on it.
You're right.
Ho.
It's a great word.
I love being black, because we can turn any word into a compliment or a diss.
Okay,
At the
ho.
same time, right? Literally that.
Yellow shirt.
Okay, right.
Okay, the yellow shirt.
I know, but Michelle, we didn't put this in the clip, but Michelle came on, or maybe we did. I forget what I put the opening. But when Michelle came on, and Dawon's first words to Michelle were, "Okay, braids." We ain't never talked to this lady in our lives, and that was the first words.
And then complimented her on her lip color.
Yes, and then her clavicle in that dress was.
I was stunned at how beautiful she looked.
Yes, 1,000.
And then not stunned because she should not have looked that way, but stunned just like, I mean, we felt really special. Like,
honey,
dolled up for us. Oh my gosh!
It's like, let me put a little Cabernet lip on.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh Lord, well, community. Hopefully you're still staying safe out there. We know school's back in session, so if you got kids in there, hang in there. We know you back in that grind. If you're a teacher, hang in there. You back on that grind.
we appreciate you.
We really do.
Shout out y'all, the real ones. Thank y'all.
Day one, for real. And until next week, wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. We'll see you then.
I'm gonna see y'all in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's right. You
that's
on vacay.
right.
His out of office is up.
Yeah, right.
Look, I'm gonna pull this. I should have pulled the Serena with this episode and did an edible.
Look.
He said, "Let me see what you doing your last day of work."
Right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Everybody.